I am hopping back on here to do my little Bible review. I'm going to do Genesis 5 and, 4 and 5 today. I'm going to combine them. They're pretty short. Um, Going over things that are new to me this time around through scripture. I thought that this was so good. It's Genesis 4:6, talking about when Cain and Abel brought their gifts to God. I'll actually kind of go back a little bit and look at Genesis 4:4. It says, Abel also brought a gift, the best portions of the firstborn lambs from his flock. The Lord accepted Abel and his gift. Genesis 4:5. But he did not accept Cain and his gift. This made Cain very angry, and he looked dejected. Genesis 4:6. Why are you so angry? The Lord asked Cain. Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what is right. But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be God's master. So the context for this was that Abel brought the best portions of his firstborn lambs, and Cain did not bring the best portions of his crops. And I think this was so interesting to me because God asks him, Why are you so angry? As if he should know to bring the best portions to God. Obviously, he should know because his brother brought the best portions to God first. And so I think that that's so interesting because how many times is God looking at us, asking us the same thing, saying, Why are you so angry when you didn't bring me the best portions first? I think, we aren't called to, bring sacrifices to God, but we should bring our best to God first. And so I thought that that was such an it's so interesting going back through Genesis, seeing how things we struggle with today, people have been struggling with since the beginning of time. And also how sin was crouching at the door, eager to control him because he did not bring his best portions to God first because he wasn't putting God first. Just saying. Another thing, this is Genesis 5, from Genesis 5. Talking about Enoch. Enoch is such an interesting person in the Bible. It says in Genesis 5:22, Enoch lived in close fellowship with God for another 300 years, and he had other sons and daughters. This is 23. Enoch lived 365 years walking in close fellowship with God. Then one day he disappeared because God took him. This was really interesting to me because if you look at the other elders before him, they were living 962 years, 895 years, 910 years, 807 years, 815 years. And so it was really interesting that Enoch only lived 365 years. Some people say that that has a significance. There's 365 days in a year. That number has significance. But it was interesting because it's a relatively short life. And it's also interesting because it does not say that he died. So the repetition previously with everyone else ends with, and then he died, and then he died, and then he died as you go through the family tree. But it doesn't do that with Enoch. It says, then one day he disappeared because God took him. I thought that was such an interesting thing because that's kind of the last we hear about Enoch. In the rest of the Bible, he's referenced a couple more times, but that's really all we know about him. And so I thought those were some interesting points. So my husband and I decided to get the books of Enoch and just see if we can add some context. He is reading this on his channel. If you're interested, at Meyer Home and Heritage. But I was also going to go ahead and read a little bit and give some of my reflection of what I've read. So let me know if you're interested in that. But I thought those were some cool things from my latest reading in Genesis. Thanks so much. Bye.